Kyudo has taught me that the process of doing the martial art is the most important part. The result will happen naturally if you're doing the process correctly in the correct sequence, step by step. There are 8 main movements that happen, and that must happen in a specific sequence in order for it to be one correct shot. It's a thing that the martial arts community provides. This thing called like ibasho, which is a place where you belong. So having a place where you can go that's not your home, not your work, but another community that accepts you. It's really taught me in my everyday life and to focus on the process of doing stuff rather than results, and quality over quantity. Kyūdō desu. Okay.
Kyūdō desu.
Kyūdō da yo. Nah, okay. Who speaks Japanese here?
Not much.
Okay, actually, could I ask you to help me with just those and then this paper as well?
Okay, you got it.
I'm going to take the rest down.
All right.
And we're going to go and put the targets on the target bank, which is called the azuchi.
Okay. Is it dirt or what is it?
Yeah, so it is a mixture of soil and sand and supposed to be river stones.
Okay.
But, you know, it depends on the facility. There is a really specific height that it needs to be.
Okay.
And there's a hook with a string. The angle that the soil and the sand is set at is decided, and also the height that we're going to put the target on is all set. There's a rule.
Okay.
And the height from the ground and the distance between the targets. And so this happens at the start of every practice session. We need to come in and hook this on, and usually the person before us has left the azuchi in a nice sort of it's ready to go. But so this is the height. So if you think like 36 centimeter circumference targets 28 meters away, they're quite low. Is a comment that I get often. It's like, why is it not higher? But arrow drop from 28 meters and bow strength, obviously, it makes a big deal. The targets are kind of cool. So the waku, or the outside, is made of wood, because occasionally, you know, your arrow goes through into the wood, so it's nice not to hurt your arrows and stuff. And then paper, so it's like, so it makes a nice sound when you hit it. Well, this one's paper, but we have plastic as well, which makes a really cool sound when you hit it.
Cool.
And then gogushi, so this one's made of bamboo. It's just a stake for putting it on. So I'm going to go down here to the front, and so we have nice markers here. So this one is really friendly. Okay, yeah, you have to be quite good at kind of estimating, but I mean, like,
it's called the eye-chrometer.
Yeah, that's so you kind of get better and better over time with practice. But when I first started, man, I couldn't get it the right height. And actually, this one, that's a lot better.
Nice.
Yeah,
so right on the string.
Yeah, it's flush with the string, and then the height is about 10 centimeters from the ground. And then we're just going to go through and do the others. But when you're in the dojo, you know, it's a really different space. Right. Yeah. So that's one of the reasons why I like to come here, because it's just quiet and chill, and yeah, it's a different world from...
Much different culture.
Yeah. It's very nice and refreshing.
Obviously, they've built a facility for it.
Yeah.
So is it pretty popular still in Japan, or is it trying to be kept alive? Yes,
it's popular, and the interesting part about Kyūdō is that the main population are students. 75% are students. So I did get a comment one day on social media that said, it's like an old person's martial art, you know, only old people do this. And I was like, what? Like, it's 75% middle school, high school, university kids. So it's really young. And the problem with having kids in school do it as like a school club is that they leave high school, they leave university, and making that transfer over to adult Kyūdō is sometimes difficult.
Is that right?
Yeah, so mentally and spiritually and also working at a Japanese company, it's really hard work. Yeah, people don't have time to practice.
High stress, a lot of workload, long hours.
Yeah. Finding time to come to, like, here it closes at 9. They'll be finishing work at 9.
So stringing the bow, how do you do that?
So we need to use, actually there's a part on the wall that has a little hole. And we can hook our bow straight in there. So if you want to have a look at the wall, so usually in dojos all around Japan, they will have a place where you can string your bow. Put it in the hole right here. So I put the top of the bow into the hole with the string already on the top part of the yumi. Yeah. And the bottom part of the string is already looped. It's ready to go. And what we do is push in the middle, what we call the middle of the bow. Okay. Just put it on our...
Rest your leg.
Yeah, and then we can just hook it on easily.
Nice.
So the problem comes when you have a super strong bow and you're like, So guys with very, very strong bows, it's and taking it off, you just do it the opposite way. And
so obviously the length of string would determine how much the bow is bowed. Is there specifics on that?
Yes, so it's very similar to archery. There's a string height, the height of the between the string and the bow. And we can measure that, and it's usually about 15 centimeters. Usually I can just measure it here. It's a little bit low. And also looking at the distance between the string and the sekiita, which is this part of the bow, you can see a little bit less than a centimeter. So it's like, we're talking millimeter differences, but it makes a little bit of a difference.
I bet.
So
could throw your shot off.
Right? So we adjust by adjusting the top. So we have to take it off one time, re-knot it, re-put it back on, restring it. And so what happens is if you don't get it right the first time, you're like in you're in this endless cycle of trying to fix it's too high, it's too low. It's like that 15 is really important.
And what's the string made of?
So this one is a mixture, I think, of Kevlar and hemp.
Okay.
Yeah, but I have another here, which is it's man-made. So this string doesn't break. Okay. But if you look, they're a little bit different. Same bow, different weights. But if you look here, it's like archery. It's an archery string, so it's very the same. But these ones, they break around here and they break in the middle. This one won't break. So it's
And the bow itself, is it a specific kind of wood or what?
Yeah. So we have these are carbon.
Okay.
So they're not like
it's super light.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. So when we say, the strength of a bow, we mean the pull strength.
Right.
The bow itself is not very heavy at all.
No.
So carbon. Traditionally, it's bamboo with a core of wood.
Okay.
And I couldn't bring a bamboo bow today, but I bought bamboo arrows just so we can have a look. So bows come in different heights.
Okay.
And it depends on your height and your arm length.
Okay.
Because that sort of determines your drawer.
Okay.
Yeah. So big boys, tall guys, they have longer bows. And me, I'm kind of average. I'm 166 centimeters, and my drawer is like 90. So I'm very average for Japan, like Japanese people's size. So I have like the average size, which is called nami-sun.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's about, sorry, I should say 221 centimeters. I said 121. It's 2 meters, 21 centimeters. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Cool.
So and they just get bigger from there, depending on how big you are.
Sure.
Yeah.
And attire, you're obviously wearing hakama. Is this a special kind of hakama?
Let me put my bows away for 1 second and I'll show you. But, hakama, that's good.
Yeah.
That's a good start. So I get comments sometimes, it does look like a skirt.
Yeah.
And from the back as well, you can't tell that it's not connected in the middle here.
Right.
And this one is a Kyūdō hakama for women. And there's a difference. Here, there's no koshi ita. There's like a square that iaido practitioners and also naginata practitioners have. We don't have it here with Kyūdō. So men have it, Kyūdō guys, Kyūdō practitioner men, but women are very different. So the hakama is you have to get it from a kyudo shop.
Right.
You can't just like use any.
No. Yeah.
So it's just an added layer of like, yes, particularness that you need to have. And then dogi, so I'll just pop it out. But these are both hemp because it's summer and it's really hot.
Yeah.
So they're, you know, a little bit see-through and really nice and airy.
Sure,
But
breathable.
It goes down like long and it has a pocket in it.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just put this one on and then hakama goes on top. There's an obi inside.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, to stop the hakama from slipping. But that's pretty much it. Oh, and tabi.
Of course.
Yeah.
Gotta have the tabi.
Yes, but I often get questions about, like, is it cosplay?
Okay. Yeah, right. I could.
Or why are you like?
Why do you have to dress up like that? Are you in a costume?
Yes.
Are you trick or treating?
Yeah, right. Yes. So this is the uniform.
Yeah,
and,
right.
We have to wear it to be able to practice here. For grading, the black and the white is just standard. Yeah.
Right.
So this is a uniform, and it's you know.
So no patterns, no loud. It's very.
Right. Recently, the rules have changed, and you can choose a different color top, dogi.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's gradings and competitions and official sort of situations. You're in your black and white, like a little tuxedo.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we have gloves.
Okay.
So we need to have a kyudo glove on before we can shoot our bow.
All right.
Yeah, so we have bows and arrows, but we also have a glove. So
And
I'd
is
like
that
to show it to you.
protect your fingers? Like, would you get
It
raw?
serves a lot of it serves a lot of purposes. So we
Okay.
don't draw with our fingers.
All right. You don't draw. I need to know. Tell me how this is possible.
Okay. Let me just go grab it,
Sure.
and I'll go back to where we were.
Cool.
So we have a glove in Kyudo that is necessary to be able to shoot. So today I bought a couple.
Okay.
So I'll show you mine, and then I'll show you other gloves as well. And this is something that every practitioner needs. They need to have a Kyudo glove, and the Kyudo glove is called the yugake.
Oh, yugake.
Yugake, yeah. So usually we keep it in our nice little bag because it is deer skin.
Oh.
So it does tend to, on these humid days and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, it, especially in summer when you have your sweaty hand inside here.
Cool, you got a little holder.
Yeah, so this one
Keeps
is,
the shape?
yes, my friend made it, bamboo, and it just, you keep the fingers nice and not bent up. The cool thing about the yugake is it's been used all throughout history. Like the yugake in general is traditional Japanese culture. So starting with samurai and mounted warriors using the yumi on horseback, they would have it on both hands. The difference being that this part here is hard so that we can pull the string back.
Oh yeah, so
Yeah,
you wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, ride and being able to ride, shoot, use your sword, that kind of thing. You still need protection, but it didn't have the hardened thumb back then. So this is an advent of, comes from dosha, which I can explain about later, but tempo shooting competitions.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll have a little look. I have two others. These are all yugake. And this is the standard.
Okay.
So if you feel here, it's a little bit harder.
Yeah.
The wrist is hard. Yeah, and the whole thing is super hard, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
Compared to.
Oh yeah. So what is that? Wood?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So wood or traditionally bone, horn, different things. But these days it's just wood.
Cool.
So this is one that I bought secondhand from an auction site. There's a lot of secondhand kyudo equipment on sale.
Nice.
I haven't graduated to this yet. This is the standard.
Okay.
And I'm still in training wheels here.
Really?
After 7 years, yes.
So what is it more difficult to use? What makes you graduate?
Right, so it depends on your sensei's way of thinking and what they think you are, which level they think you're at. I've asked him before, is it okay to try it? And he gives me like a,
Not yet. No.
like a little bit of a, and it's okay. I'm not in a hurry.
Yeah.
And I have this, and it's not gonna go anywhere. So there are many different schools of kyudo in Japan. And this one, so this is antique, but it's all pretty soft. There's
right.
no wood in here.
Okay.
So it's a different archery school glove, and there are names for no wood is waboshi, and the wooden side is kataboshi, so it means hard, and boshi is like hat or the thumb area. So yeah, there's many different types of gloves. Some of them are very decorative.
Yeah,
some of them are basic. Yeah. But yeah, so everybody's cool. Made of deerskin.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
So, you mentioned
Questions.
that you don't pull the bow with your fingers. How does that work?
The mechanics of it, it's easier if I show
that?
you. Yeah. And you can be like, you can come and look close. But
I just think of Robin Hood and, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, right? Yeah, because I shoot recurve, I shoot barebow recurve, and we use a finger tab, and we string walk, so our fingers are on different parts, and we pull back the arrow and the string with our fingers. So this is just slightly different.
Interesting.
But I'll show you really quickly. Underneath here, if you feel, there's like a groove.
Oh, yeah.
So this is where we hook the string on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So no hand tension, because if you're like, it's really
fly off.
The arrow would just go. So it's super light.
So you're
shooting with your elbow and your back, and this is like, it could be floppy.
Really?
Yeah, you could just have your fingers off and just have that hooked on, and that's it.
And then you just release. How would you release that?
Wow.
Oh, we got to get into it.
Very good questions. It's something I'm still discovering, because it depends on the depth of the groove as to how easy it is to release. So each glove is different.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So there's one other piece of equipment I just wanted to show you, and it's called the naginata. So we have lots of little things in here. So nylon. This one is nylon. And it's hexagonal.
Okay.
Yeah. This is the standard shape, just a triangular one. Chest protector.
Okay.
Yeah. So people are really like,
skin yourself.
I get that question a lot. Like, is that okay? Like, do you get hurt? And I'm like, if I don't wear one, it's gonna like, I'll be like,
shear you. Really? Yeah. And so does the string actually pass across?
Yes. So one of the references for aiming is called munazuru, and tsuru is the string, and muna means chest.
Okay.
You'll see me in full drawer. The string is gonna be like right here.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's how we know if we're in full drawer or not.
So if you were, let's just say for practitioners that might be very well endowed, would that change your...
That's why I really love this one, because it's sad, but it squashes everything kind of compact, right? So that
nothing's in the way.
Yeah. Other people, they have a good body for Kyūdō, and other people don't. So yeah, I prefer this. So you're gonna see me. It's gonna get quite tight. Yeah.
Interesting.
So we're gonna wear that, but yeah, guys wear them sometimes depending on how well endowed they are.
Yeah. Now. Forearm. Do you ever? Because I've shot a bow before, and I had a red mark on it, like crazy.
Yes. So we don't wear arm guards because the way that the yumi works, if you use it correctly, the bow will turn. So the string will go, behind.
Really?
Yeah.
So as you release it, it's going to go rotate.
Yeah, this is why the left-handed people, if you push correctly, if you use your arm correctly, it torques the bow, and the bow spins. We don't open our hand, but it spins in your hand.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's no risk of skinning your forearm.
And like no ears cut off, and no noses, and whatever. So so I'm just gonna put on this is a shitagake, so underneath glove. And mine is, like you said, it looks like a sock.
Yeah.
It's a little bit frayed though, so don't hate me. Okay.
And that's just to preserve the glove, or just
so helps with sweat. And this kind of thing. I'm gonna put on my naginata, but it's going to probably the mic will get squashed up.
Okay. Yeah. We can adjust.
So let me know.
Sure.
But most people prefer the other shape, but I found this one just to be so so good. So yeah. Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, so it doesn't move when I shoot. Okay, so let me know if you can still hear me after that. Okay, you can? Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, usually we would put on the yugake sitting down.
Okay.
And the other thing to note is that this is a one thumb, 2 fingers.
Yeah.
There's a one thumb, 3 fingers, and one thumb, 4 fingers. So you can go like all the way covered, depending on your level, what strength your bow is, this kind of thing. So it's kind of a, how can I say, like, it just depends on the way you feel and what you want to shoot with. In terms of difficulty, this is the easiest one.
Okay.
Yeah, so 3, we call it mitsugake, for 3 is mitsu.
Right.
Yeah, so we are gonna, turn this way.
Sure.
We're gonna tie up, and it's really like, my fingers are just resting on here, so super loose. And we're just gonna tie it up. The thing is that usually we
tuck it.
Yeah, we just wind it around. Depending on the school of archery, they have different ways to shut it. There's special knots.
Okay.
So you can usually tell the practitioner which school they belong to by
And it doesn't look like you're doing it too tight, like you're not
like
reefing
it's
on it.
super, yeah, it's super, like I can fit fingers inside here.
Yeah.
And it does have a little bit of
Stretch.
elasticity, yeah. So it's pretty comfortable. And I'm just gonna tuck it in here.
Under.
Yeah, so we just move it out of the way because this is gonna come quite close to the string. It's gonna come quite close to our face as well, this underneath side.
Wow.
Yeah, so we wanna just keep it,
Out of the way.
yeah, neat. And it sucks when it comes undone and you have like a, your
Yeah, right.
and it's like, yeah, okay. So I'll move these out of
Sure.
the way and I'll show you some arrows if that's
Yeah,
okay.
that'd be awesome. All right, so we've got a bunch of different arrows here. What's all the differences?
So we have Kudo arrows, and they're all Kudo arrows. They're just made of different materials. This one has no fletching. These ones have fletching. So
And fletching is the...
fletching is the feathers.
Okay.
So this is black eagle feather.
Black eagle feather, wow.
Yes, and 3 rows of fletching. And I often get this question, which is, doesn't the fletching, like you can feel it. It's not super hard.
No.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
And so they obviously have to shave them, or
Yeah.
they're cut.
They're cut with these really super long scissors.
Okay.
But I get, like, doesn't it hit your face? So when I'm in full draw, the arrow's got to touch my face.
Really?
Yeah, you'll see, it's super cool. And then
not going to give you a
no,
shave.
so the fletching is at such a place that it's open on this side. So I don't get it like down the side of my face. It's like turned to a special angle. So
Cool.
that's that. And arrows are made of bamboo or carbon, or these are aluminium. So I just have, the training wheel arrows, as I mentioned with the glove. These are the lowest in price.
Okay.
For a set of 6, about $150 US in Japan. And the fletching or the feathers change the price a lot.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Depending on the type of bird?
Yes, turkey is the cheapest. Turkey!
Turkeys would be the cheapest.
But it tends to get damaged quite easily, and eagle is a little bit more
It just sounds
durable.
cooler too.
I got eagle feathers.
Now bamboo, wouldn't that
Right.
run a risk of not being straight?
Yes, yes, because it is a natural, and you have to have 4 or 6 that are all the same node spacing and length and straightness, right? And weight. They're weighted. And when it's a naturally occurring element, it's tricky. But the yashi or the ya artisan, he spends or she spends hours and days and months straightening them by hand over flame.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Because naturally, yeah, bamboo kind of does whatever it wants to do.
Yes, so it does take quite a while. If you order a custom set of arrows, it can take up to a year for them to be made for you.
Wow.
And if you have big boys with big arms, it gets expensive and time consuming.
Sure.
But people want bamboo, and I think it's really nice to support artisans, because this is the traditional culture right here.
Right,
yeah.
right.
So some of them, the beautiful fletching is facing towards you, and the others, the fletching is facing away from you.
Right.
So the one we shoot first is the haya, and usually the most beautiful side is facing towards the audience or the people that are watching.
Right.
And then the otoya faces towards us.
Okay.
So we shoot them in that order to give respect to kamiza is here, so the flag and the shi sign, or the grading, the people who are grading us, the senseis, and then one for us.
Cool. So they would both spin in these directions.
Yes. So I have a reel, and everyone was like, wow, this is crazy. Like,
yeah.
It went really viral because
Cool.
people were sort of blown away that
Right.
why would you have 2 arrows that spin in 2 different directions? It's like, well,
Yeah.
that's tradition, so. That's
Don't mess with tradition. You can't mess with tradition.
That's one of the cool things about
Yeah.
Kyūdō. And
Now, would you be able to feel, like, for instance, when you're shooting, you would be able to totally feel the difference between an aluminum versus a bamboo?
Yes. Very, yeah. So actually, these are harder. These tend to wobble. Like bend in
Yeah.
flight.
Really?
So you'll get a speed wobble.
You'd have better luck, more accuracy with the bamboo?
Yes, carbon is the next, and then bamboo is the hardest.
Okay. And so would bamboo be considered the best?
Yes, I think so.
All right.
The best, and also it's the same with the bow, humidity, the weather, the temperature.
Yeah.
It's going to change the way it behaves.
Right, right.
These natural occurring materials are tricky to use. So best for practitioners who have more experience.
Okay.
This never changes, doesn't
Right.
matter how hot it gets outside.
No.
So
No.
this for me is like, enables me to just work on my technique.
Right.
More than worry about.
One less variable to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
concerned about.
Right.
Cool.
So the other thing to mention is that we shoot with 2 arrows at once. So you'll see, but I knock. I'll have the next arrow waiting here.
Okay.
And so that changes the feeling of shooting as well. And then that one will be gone, and then
Okay.
I'm gonna, I'll get it, and then I'll just have one, but nothing in these fingers. So it changes it.
You don't have a sweet quiver to start?
I wish I did.
Yeah.
So I did bring an old school one, but the one that goes on here, the samurai quiver, is an ebira, and I can send you guys a photo of it. But they are the ones that you're reloading from and pull down and put it on. Use them for horseback archery. But here we're just chilled. You know, we're in a peaceful space. We use our yatate and put all the arrows in here and just grab them out 2 at a time.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's the arrows. It's like how detailed do you want it, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's perfect. These are the kind of details that are interesting.
Yeah. So each mato gets its own number. Number 4 is the one that I don't like because it bounces off. Okay, so that's the, how can we say, the horizontal marker for us, but the vertical marker is here. So we need a vertical marker.
Okay.
So we have some, I call it shingo, which is like a traffic light.
Yeah.
So it directs me on where to go. So we have honza is here. That's the starting line, if you can say that. And then shai is here, I think. Let me just move this one out of the way. Okay, shai, and it should line up with the, right here, the white
Okay.
mark. Yeah, so this is the vertical line here, and this is the horizontal one.
So you're all
yeah, we can figure out if we
lined
are
up
in the right place. Okay.
Right. Cool.
Had no idea it was so involved and so zen-like.
Yeah.
Really, it looked like you were meditating the whole time.
Oh, wow, okay. Yeah, no, I have a lot of things happening in my mind, especially since I was at the dojo yesterday and my sensei switched up my technique a little bit.
Yeah.
So I was really thinking very intently while I was shooting.
Right.
But I'm glad that it looks, like it does look super, it should flow. It shouldn't be stopping and starting, and like there should be no difference between the stop and the start. You should just have one whole like circle of shooting, and then for each arrow.
So let's go check out the targets.
Yes, let's go have a look.
Let's go.
Yes, yes.
So I'm sure there is a lot to learn from the placement of the arrows.
Yes, and I mean, you've heard now hits and misses. You can kind of tell by listening which is a hit and which is a miss.
Yes, and what's the
the azuchi.
Azuchi, yes.
Yeah.
So you can totally, it's like a not even, you can almost barely hear it,
Yes.
but then it sounds like hitting a drum
Right.
when you get
The hit is
hits.
very like it's loud,
Yeah.
pretty loud, right?
Okay, so what do you see here?
So I see some problems.
Okay.
But overall, you know, of 8 arrows, I hit 4, went on the target, so that's good. Giving me a 50% hit rate, which is pretty average for the regular adult Kyūdō practitioner. I mean, if I practice more, I'd be probably hitting a bit more.
Right.
So this is not bad. The problem that I see here is the misses are to the right of the target, meaning that likely I'm not using my left arm, so this is the bow arm. It's not enough expansion and pushing, so this really has to push to be able to make those arrows fly straight. So it's a combination of that probably and tenouchi, so this left hand technique. But you know, it's the kind of thing that I can fix. The kind of thing that you start to see when you're getting tired after a certain amount of arrows as well.
Yeah.
You start to slack off here.
Right.
So, I mean, that could be the reason for it, or, you know, I mean, I hit half, so I'm not too sad about that.
So why would you prefer to miss on the left versus the right?
So the reasons become different. Basically, this large muscle group isn't getting used properly, as opposed to slight elbow differences or slight tension in your hand would have it landing over here. The best place to miss is 12 and 6, so above and below. So you know you're in that zone.
Right.
That is like the best. If you're going to be missing above or below. But side to side, you want to avoid it wherever possible, especially the right, because that will give you an instant fail in your grading.
Right. And if you hit a bullseye, it wouldn't make a difference?
No, so the thing with Kyūdō is it's just a hit or a miss. With student Kyūdō, however, everybody hits. And we have these amazing hit rates, 80%, 90% hit rates. So you get a different target that's got like millimeter rings, and it's whoever's closest to the center. So there's no bullseye as such. However, for different competition situations, the center is the place to be hitting. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yes.
So much to learn from so much, you know, and it's so wild to me how much information can be gleaned from where the arrows are placed.
Yes, and that's a really big thing with Kyūdō is to, as you're shooting each arrow, you need to be fixing yourself so that you're hitting consistently.
Right.
So one issue that I have is the fletching. The feathers are the same color as the azuchi. So from far away, it can become a little bit tricky to see where it went and then to adjust yourself. But yeah, it's important to be able to fix as you're shooting in real time. Not go back later, and so this way you can win competitions.
Such a practice and not just a physical practice. It must be a heavy mental and spiritual practice.
I'm definitely thinking every time I'm shooting, especially when I miss. So I'm like, where did it go? What can I do? Okay. And then I'm like, and try to fix it up.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, Jessica, thank you so much for this.
No
this
problem.
was so interesting, and I kind of want to try it. One day.
That's
One
what
day.
I want to hear. That's what I want to
Yeah,
hear. Okay,
cool.
okay.
Well,
Yeah,
thank you so
definitely.
much.
Yeah,
This is
you're
great.
very
True honor.
welcome. Thank you so much.